Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Hockey on the Spot. Brandon Barenfeld. I'm Brandon Barenfeld. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 77 of Hockey on the Spot, the first of two episodes I'm going to be doing at this time. I apologize for not getting this done earlier. I was out all day and busy, but I'm going to do it now, plus episode 78. This episode 77 is going to be a very long video. However, to make up for it, episode 78 will be very short. So let's get right to it. Starting with the updates, starting with the Winnipeg Jets, who have recalled forward Patrice Cormier from the American Hockey League's St. John's Ice Caps with Evander Kane out with a tweaked leg. The Ottawa Senators have placed forward Stefan DaCosta on waivers. He could be a solid depth player for anybody who chooses to pick them up. The St. Charles Chill of the Central Hockey League has agreed to an affiliation with the St. Louis Blues and their AHL affiliates, the Chicago Wolves. That's great news for the Blues, as they needed a Central Hockey League affiliate. Edmonton Oilers forward Nail Yakupov has been called out by Russian Olympic scout Igor Kravchuk, who was simply analyzing Russians in the NHL for Sochi. Igor told TSN Radio Ottawa he has to make up his mind. If he's not going to change his game, then he has no future in the NHL. From what I see, his team game is really, really poor. He tries to do a lot of things by himself. He has absolutely no defense. That's what really concerns us as scouts. Nail Yakupov was a healthy scratch for 2 consecutive games, but he explained that, quote-unquote, I'm going to change, adding, quote-unquote, I really don't like skating all the time and forechecking and hitting somebody every shift. That is something that will need to change for Nail Yakupov to have a bright future in this league. Remember, he was the first overall pick in the 2012 NHL entry draft, so he definitely needs to improve if he wants to live up to his draft status. Because right now, players like Alex Galchenyuk and Morgan Riley and Hampus Lindholm, among other names, are doing much better than him. New York Rangers forward Ryan Callahan will miss 3 to 4 weeks with a broken thumb. This is a humongous loss for the Rangers. They already were without Callahan for all of training camp. He had shoulder surgery. Now he is out again with a broken thumb and is missing some decent time, missing about a month of action. But in his place, forward Darryl Powell has been recalled from the Hartford Wolfpack. Darryl Powell has been itching to get into a game for a while, as he had a very solid preseason this past year. So hopefully Darryl Powell can make somewhat of a difference. He did have a very good training camp. Edmonton media is reporting that the Oilers have moved on from trying to acquire Buffalo Sabres goaltender Ryan Miller and are now focusing on Anaheim Ducks goaltender Jonas Hiller, St. Louis Blues goaltender Brian Elliott, and Washington Capitals goaltender Michael Neuvirth. It's believed that Edmonton was one of 8 teams limited no trade clause Miller wouldn't accept a trade to, and Oil City could very well be the team that unrestricted free agent goaltender Ilya Bryzgalov, who publicity stated the city is too cold for him, turned down. So Edmonton really looking for a goaltender, and like I said from the beginning, they do need one, because Jason LaBarra and Devin Dubnyk, they are not trustworthy goaltenders by any means. The New York Rangers have recalled 6'8" goaltender Jason Mission today, and if he sees action, he will become the tallest NHL netminder in history. The average NHL goalie this season is 6'2", inches tall, which is also a new record. He's been in the Rangers system for a while, former Montreal Canadiens draft pick, so he will battle Cam Talbot for the backup job to Henrik Lundqvist. So hopefully something can happen. So hopefully something can absolutely happen. So yeah. We had a lot of first NHL goals last night, as well as a few injuries lately. Like, for example, Philadelphia Flyers defenseman Kimmo Timonen left the game from the other night with a lower body injury and did not return. So hopefully they can get him looked at and get him healthy. Hopefully he can get healthy real quick. Also, an example of the league trying to get rid of some of the hits from behind in the league. Colorado Avalanche forward Cody McLeod had a boarding hit on Detroit Red Wings defenseman Nicholas Kronwall, which is definitely worthy of a look by Brendan Shanahan and the Department of Player Safety. They already had a talk with forward Maxime Lapierre of the St. Louis Blues for his hit on Dan Boyle. We'll get more into that in a second here. Meanwhile, another big loss for a team. Montreal Canadiens forward Max Pacioretty will miss 3 weeks with a strained hamstring. This is a huge loss for the Cabs. He is quite arguably the best player on their team right now. So hopefully something can get done. The East Coast Hockey League, Elmira Jackals have agreed to an affiliation with the New Jersey Devils. The Devils joined the Ottawa Senators as Elmira affiliates in 2013-2014. So the Devils and Sens will share an East Coast Hockey League affiliate. And so that is great news, obviously. And it is been confirmed also that St. Louis Blues forward Maxime Lapierre obviously had an in-person hearing and has been suspended for 5 games. So well deserving for his hit on Dan Boyle. Montreal Canadiens forward George Parros is back on the ice at practice after his scary fight/fall injury. So that's good for the Montreal Canadiens. They really need him in their lineup right now. He's going to really open up the game for that team. Anaheim Ducks goaltender Victor Frost is out with a lower body injury, and an in-change goaltender Frederick Anderson has been recalled from the Norfolk Admirals. So Victor Frost obviously got a huge win the other night against the Calgary Flames. Was the starting goaltender for that game, and he was the number 1 star. Obviously, he did get hurt somewhere in the game, managed to finish out the game, but now he is out with an injury. The Washington Capitals have announced that forward Tom Wilson will stay with the team for the remainder of the season, thus burning the first year of his entry-level contract. His 9-game trial has ended, and it is great to see Tom Wilson up because they really like his game, and I think he's going to be a real hated player in the National Hockey League. He really will be. He wants to be, that's what the Capitals want him to be, and that's what he wants to be. He was their second first-round pick in 2012. Obviously, their first-round pick, Philip Forsberg, was dealt to the Nashville Predators. So Tommy Wilson, he's going to have an interesting career up ahead of him. Scary moment as Winnipeg Jets defenseman Jacob Trouba fell face first into the boards after missing a check and had to be taken off on a stretcher. Jacob Trouba will miss quite a bit of time. We could miss quite a bit of time for that. The NHL has ruled that Ottawa Senators forward Bobby Ryan's hit on Phoenix Coyotes defenseman Rostislav Klesla was a legal full-body hockey check. So excellent there that Bobby Ryan will not get suspended. That is the right choice. And last but not least, the Grand Rapids Griffins, American Hockey League affiliate to the Detroit Red Wings, raised their Calder Cup championship banner tonight, or technically now last night at their home opener, which is excellent for them. They are now looking to win another one. And that is it for all the updates. Now let's get to the games from October 17th, 2013. 12 games, so let's get right into it and try to get through this quick. Starting with the Vancouver Canucks and the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo. The Vancouver Canucks pick up the win on the road by a final score of 3-0, a 3-0 shutout for the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver goals scored by Chris Higgins, his second of the year, assisted by Mike Santorelli, his first assist in a Canucks sweater. Then Brad Richardson would get his second of the year on a short-handed goal assisted by Jason Garrison and Mike Santorelli. He had 2 assists in the game. And then Ryan Stanton, the only waiver claim from the waiver pickup day, placed on waivers by the Chicago Blackhawks, claimed by the Vancouver Canucks. He would go on to score his first NHL goal. Congratulations to him. Assisted by Daniel Sedin and Henrik Sedin. Roberto Luongo got the starting goal, and he was absolutely brilliant, leading the way to a 25-save shutout, which is great for him. He played out of his head. For the Buffalo Sabres, Ryan Miller would start the game. And despite letting up 3 goals, was very good. 31 saves and 34 shots, a .912 save percentage. Ryan Miller, let's face it, he really hasn't been bad this season. To me, has actually been one of the better goaltenders this year. It's just that he's getting no help from the team in front of him. And it doesn't help that a guy like Zemgus Girgensons is out now with an injury. Hopefully he can return soon, because he will be a big part of the Buffalo Sabres roster for many years to come. Congratulations to the Vancouver Canucks either way, though. Next, we have the Carolina Hurricanes and the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto. Big win for the Carolina Hurricanes. The Toronto Maple Leafs took a 2-0 lead in the game with 2 goals in the second period after a scoreless first, and then the Canes go on a 3-goal flurry in the third period. So let's talk about that. After the 2 goals by the Leafs, Ryan Murphy would score a power play goal assisted by Jeff Skinner. For Ryan Murphy, that is his first NHL goal, and a big one for him, for the former superstar offensive defenseman for the Kitchener Rangers of the Ontario Hockey League. Then Eric Stahl would tie the game with his third of the year, assisted by Justin Falk. And then after that, Ron Hainsey would get his second goal of the year, assisted by Cam Ward, surprisingly enough, his first assist of the season. But what was interesting about this goal, a fluke goal given up by Jonathan Bernier. Jonathan Quick of the Los Angeles Kings gave up a big fluke goal against the New York Rangers in the second game of the year. Now it was Jonathan Bernier's turn. So, very embarrassing for 2 effective Los Angeles Kings goaltenders. And very embarrassing. That went on to be the game-winning goal, and Jonathan Bernier will look to put that behind him and forget about it for a very long time. Cam Ward gets his first win of the season at long last. Congratulations to him. 24 saves and 26 shots and .923 save percentage. He was very good in the game and was one of the better players. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, again, they had a 2-0 lead in the game on goals scored by Joffrey Lupul, assisted by Paul Ranger. And for Paul Ranger, that is his first point in a Toronto Maple Leaf sweater, and his first NHL point in a very long time. As a matter of fact, that was his first NHL point since the 2009-2010 season, in which was the last season he played. October 10th, 2009, against the Carolina Hurricanes. When he was a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning, he had a goal and an assist in that game. That was the last multi-point game he had as well. So, congratulations to Paul Ranger on a big assist there. And then after that, Josh Levo would get his first NHL goal as well, assisted by Dave Bolin and Morgan Riley. A very interesting turn of events. James Reimer actually did get the start and goal, but left the game just 32 seconds in. He apparently was not feeling right in the game. He did make a save in the game, but was taken off. So hopefully James Reimer is all right. Jonathan Bernier came in, played the rest of the game, and again, he was good for the most part, but again gave up that fluke goal, making for 34 saves on 37 shots and .919 save percentage. So, big congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes, and big congratulations to Cam Ward on, at long last, getting his first win of the season. Next, we have the Edmonton Oilers and the New York Islanders at the Nassau Coliseum. The New York Islanders would win the game by a final score of 3-2. However, Taylor Hall of the Edmonton Oilers would make history in that game, and we will explain that in a bit here. New York Islander goals being scored by Josh Bailey, assisted by Travis Hamonic and Pierre-Marc Bouchard. Then Kyle Okposo would get himself a power play goal, assisted by Matt Moulson, his first assist of the year, and John Tavares. And then John Tavares would score the game-winning goal, assisted by Kyle Okposo and Michael Grabner. Evgeny Nabokov would get the starting goal and was brilliant. 27 saves on 29 shots and .931 save percentage. But after Josh Bailey's goal, the Oilers would take a 2-0 lead. Taylor Hall would score both goals. The first goal assisted by Justin Schultz and Marco Arcobello, and the second goal assisted by Marco Arcobello and Jordan Eberle. But what was unique about these two goals, that both goals by Taylor Hall would come 8 seconds apart. That breaks the Edmonton Oilers franchise record for the fastest 2 goals scored in the franchise history. The original record being held by the great one, Wayne Gretzky, who held the record at 9 seconds. Taylor Hall did it in 8 seconds. That is the new record. Congratulations to Taylor Hall. Despite the loss, he was the third star of the game, 6 shots on goal, and it's a night he'll definitely remember for a long time. Devan Dubnyk gets the starting goal, and he's still looking for his first win of the year, does not get it. However, it was still one of his better games, actually, a couple nights ago. 37 saves on 40 shots, a .925 save percentage. So he went through a lot in that game. So got to give him quite a bit of credit for the work he did put on in that game, despite the loss. But still, congratulations to the New York Islanders on the win, and congratulations to Taylor Hall on the record-setting night. One of the many records that the Great One held that many thought would never be broken, but has been broken. Next, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers in Philadelphia, the two arch rivals from Pennsylvania. It is the Pittsburgh Penguins that dominate and come out on top by a final score of 4-1. Pittsburgh goals being scored by Jussi Jokinen, assisted by Evgeny Malkin. Then Chris Kunitz, assisted by Pascal Dupuis and Matt Niskanen. Then Sidney Crosby would get his 6th of the year, assisted by Pascal Dupuis. And then Evgeny Malkin would score an empty net goal with 13 seconds remaining in the game, assisted by Craig Adams, his first assist of the year, and Sidney Crosby, his 8th assist of the year. Marc-Andre Fleury would get the starting goal and improves to 6-0-0, 24 saves on 25 shots, a .960 save percentage. He has been the real star of this Pittsburgh Penguins team. There's no doubt about that. There really is no doubt about that, in my personal opinion. And the other big story for the Pittsburgh Penguins in that game, Tanner Glass would have 10 hits in the game, the most of any player on either side of the ice. Matta would go on to have 6 shots on goal, the most of any player on the ice, and Evgeny Malkin would have 5. So, a couple brilliant players right there. Mike Raffl of the Philadelphia Flyers, the Austrian kid, would also have 5. Speaking of the Philadelphia Flyers, their only goal of the game being scored by Wayne Simmons on the power play, his first of the year, assisted by Claude Giroux and Braden Shen. Steve Mason would get the full starting goal, making 31 saves on 34 shots and .912 save percentage. So he actually did play pretty solid, but not good enough to get the win. Been a disappointing season thus far in the land of Philadelphia. Zach Rinaldo led them with 6 hits. So, very interesting game indeed. Congratulations again to the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are having an unbelievable season to start. Next, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Montreal Canadiens in Montreal. The Canadiens coming out on top with a big win. Took a 3-0 lead in the game, then allowed Columbus to come back and tie it, and then with a minute 7 seconds remaining, the Canadiens would come back to get the lead back and then get themselves an empty net goal. Let's talk about their progress. Montreal goals being scored by Rennie Bourque on the power play, assisted by P.K. Subban. Then Michael Bournival would get his first NHL goal, assisted by Andrei Markov and P.K. Subban. Then after that, Andrei Markov would get himself a short-handed goal unassisted, his first of the year. Then after Columbus came back to tie it, Tomas Plekanec would go on to score 2 goals. The first one, even strength, assisted by the captain, Brian Gionta, and Josh Georges. And then the second one coming as a short-handed empty net goal, assisted by Brandon Prust, his first assist of the year, and Rafael Diaz. Carey Price got the starting goal and made 30 saves on 33 shots, and .909 save percentage. Was rather solid. For the Columbus Blue Jackets, they were without Marian Gaborik in this game. They were without Marian Gaborik in this game, and we're outshot. Not that bad, but they had a couple players who had a lot of shots on goal against them. Tomas Plekanec had 7 shots on goal in addition to the 2 goals, and Michael Bournival had 5 shots on goal along with his first NHL goal. Congratulations to Michael Bournival, by the way. But the Columbus Blue Jackets, again, they were really good too. They pushed back real good. For the Columbus Blue Jackets, Bowen Jenner scored his first 2 NHL goals in last night's game. Not 1, but 2, both of them coming on the power play. His first NHL goal being assisted by Ryan Johansson and David Savard. Then, before Jenner would get his second, Ryan Johansson would get his first goal of the year, assisted by Fedor Tyutin, his first assist of the year. And then Bowen Jenner would get his second of the game, assisted by Mark Letestu and Artem Anisimov, their first assists of the season. Again, the Jackets were without Marian Gaborik and Nick Foligno. Sergei Bobrovsky, brilliant in goal despite the loss. 31 saves on 35 shots and .886 save percentage. Actually, okay, that's not brilliant, that's just okay. But still, he was solid. Bowen Jenner had 6 shots on goal, and R.J. Umberger had 5. So, a night all about the rookies, Michael Bournival and Bowen Jenner. But still, congratulations to the Montreal Canadiens. Next, we have the New Jersey Devils and the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa. Devils still looking for their first win of the season. The only team in the league without their first win of the year. They still cannot get their first win of the year. The Ottawa Senators dominating their way to a 5-2 victory. Ottawa goals coming from Erik Karlsson, assisted by Bobby Ryan. Then Bobby Ryan would get his 4th of the year, assisted by Kyle Turris and Clark MacArthur. Then Zach Smith would get his 2nd of the year, assisted by Erik Karlsson and Jason Spezza. And then after the Devils did make a small push, the Sens would get the lead back. Milan Michalek would get his 2nd of the year, assisted by Jason Spezza and Erik Karlsson. And then Jason Spezza would put the game away with an empty netter, assisted by Eric Condra. Craig Anderson would get the starting goal and was truly the real star of the game. 40 saves on 42 shots and .952 save percentage. Just brilliant, as the Devils totally dominated the gameplay. They totally dominated in the game the other night. For the New Jersey Devils, their goals coming from Travis Zajac on the power play, his first of the year, assisted by Marek Zidlinsky and Patrick Eliash. And then Steve Bernier would get his first of the year, assisted by Steven Gianta, his first assist of the year. Again, the Sens had a 3-0 lead. The Devils made a push to make it a 1-goal game until Milan Michalek got the 2-goal lead back. Martin Brodeur would get the starting goal and was terrible. Just 18 saves on 22 shots, an .818 save percentage. Not a good night at all for the Devils. As their next game, they will take on the Rangers today. But got Steven Gianta and Steve Bernier both had 5 shots on goal. Jaromir Jagr had 8 shots on goal, did not score a goal. Unbelievable for him. He obviously will look to forget about this game. And the Sens, of course, they will remember this game. They will remember it very well. But congratulations to the Ottawa Senators. Next, we have the Minnesota Wild and the Tampa Bay Lightning in Tampa Bay. The Lightning coming up huge with a 3-1 victory. Tampa Bay goals being scored by Tyler Johnson on the power play, assisted by Valtteri Filppula and Richard Panik. And then after the Wild tied the game, Steven Stamkos would score the game-winning goal, his 5th of the year, assisted by Matt Call and Radko Gudas. And for Radko Gudas, that would be his first NHL point. Congratulations to him. His first assist of the year and first NHL point. And then, to put the game away, Sammy Salo would get his first of the year unassisted and an empty net goal. So congrats to him. And Ben Bishop remains undefeated. He has been absolutely tremendous this season for the Tampa Bay Lightning. 25 saves on 26 shots, a .962 save percentage. He really has been unbelievable. For the Minnesota Wild, Mikko Koivu getting the only goal for them, his first of the season, the first of the year for the captain, assisted by Nino Niederreiter and Ryan Suter. Josh Harding would get the starting goal. Nicklas Backstrom is back, folks. Nicklas Backstrom was back. He was the backup last night for the Minnesota Wild to Josh Harding, who got the start. 27 saves and 29 shots for Josh Harding, a .931 save percentage. So he was very good, good enough to be the third star, but not good enough to get the win. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Next, we had one of the 2 most anticipated games from Thursday's action. The Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers in Florida. Tim Thomas returns from injury to play against his former mates, the Boston Bruins, in obviously not as memorable as it will be when the Panthers travel to Boston, but still a memorable one for sure. Unfortunately for Tim Thomas, however, not really a night to celebrate like he had hoped. The Boston Bruins come out on top by a final score of 3-2. Boston Bruin goals being scored by Daniel Paille, his first of the year, assisted by Dennis Seidenberg and Matt Bartkowski. Then Dougie Hamilton would score a power play goal, assisted by David Krejci and Zdeno Chara, his first goal of the year. By the way, for Matt Bartkowski, that's his first assist of the year and and I believe if I'm correct, that is his first NHL assist in the no, never mind. That is his 3rd career NHL assist in the regular season. But for Danny Paille and Dougie Hamilton, their first goals of the year. And then after the Panthers came back to tie it, Riley Smith gets his first goal as a Boston Bruin with just 59 seconds remaining in the game, assisted by Patrice Bergeron and Torrey Krug. That was the game-winning goal. Tuukka Rask was very, very good. Was the second star of the game. 27 saves and 29 shots and .931 save percentage. He was brilliant. For the Florida Panthers, their goals coming from Chris Versteeg, assisted by John Huberdeau and Tom Gilbert. So congrats to them. And then Jesse Winchester gets not only his first goal in a Florida Panthers sweater, but first goal in the NHL since the 2011-2012 season as a member of the Ottawa Senators. Remember, he did not play in the lockout-shortened year of 2012-2013. Last NHL point, April 1st, 2012, against the New York Islanders. He had an assist. His last goal against the New Jersey Devils on December 8th, 2011. So, for Jesse Winchester, a big goal. Actually, that's his first goal since that game against New Jersey. Second straight game with a point. That goal assisted by Nick Bjugstad, his first point of the season. For Tim Thomas, he was absolutely brilliant in the game against his former mates. 37 saves on 40 shots, a .925 save percentage, and the third star of the game. He was brilliant. He really was. So give him a lot of credit despite the loss, and he'll definitely be looking forward to the next meeting. But for now, congrats to the Boston Bruins. Next, we have the St. Louis Blues and the Chicago Blackhawks in Chicago. The Blues remain hot and don't lose focus despite a huge loss to the San Jose Sharks. A 3-2 victory in a shootout. And a big one too. For the St. Louis Blues, they never led the game. They trailed twice, but the St. Louis goals being scored by David Backes on the power play, assisted by Jay Bouwmeester and Alex Pietrangelo. And then, with just over 2 minutes left in the game, Alexander Steen remains hot. His fifth of the year ties it up, assisted by Jay Bouwmeester and TJ Oshie. And then TJ Oshie for the Chicago Blackhawks, Brandon Peary got his first NHL goal, assisted by Marian Hossa. And then Marian Hossa would get his third of the year, assisted by Nicholas Chalmerson. In the shootout, TJ Oshie would be the only player who would score in the shootout. Alexander Steen was the other shooter for the Blues. For the Hawks, they would use three shooters: Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, and Patrick Sharp. They would all miss. So the Blues coming up big in the shootout. Yaroslav Halak was brilliant in goal. 27 saves and 29 shots, a .931 save percentage. As was Corey Crawford, 26 saves and 28 shots, a .929 save percentage. So congratulations to the St. Louis Blues on a big win, but it was a great game overall for both teams. Congratulations to both teams, indeed. Next, we have the Los Angeles Kings and the Nashville Predators in Nashville. Another shootout game. The LA Kings coming up with a 2-1 victory in the shootout. And again, both goals for both teams coming in the first period. Nashville took a 1-0 lead, but then the Kings would tie it up with under a minute left in the first. Slava Voinov would get the only goal for the Kings, assisted by Mike Richards and Jeff Carter. And prior to that, Matt Cullen would score his first goal in a Nashville Predators uniform, assisted by Craig Smith and Gabriel Bourque. In the shootout, Anze Kopitar would be the only guy who would convert in the shootout. Jeff Carter and Mike Richards would also go in the shootout. For the Preds, they would go with Craig Smith, Philip Forsberg, and Matt Cullen. So congrats to the LA Kings on that. Jeff Carter had 7 shots in the game, as did Patrick Hornquist. For the Kings, they went with Jonathan Quick. He made 34 saves and 35 shots, a .971 save percentage. Pekka Rinne made 29 saves on 30 shots, a .967 save percentage. So the goaltending was brilliant, but it was the LA Kings that was just a little bit better. Congrats to them. Next, we have the San Jose Sharks and the Dallas Stars in Dallas. And at long last, the San Jose Sharks, though they still managed to get a point, suffered their first loss of the season after winning 6 in a row to start by a final score of 4-3 in a shootout, another shootout game. However, they keep the point streak alive. Um, for the Dallas Stars, they never led in the game. They trailed 3 times, but they were determined to hand the Sharks their first loss of the year, and the determination was enough. For the Dallas Stars, their goals coming from Tyler Seguin, assisted by Tyler Seguin, assisted by Jamie Benn and Stefan Robida. Then Trevor Daley would get his first of the year, assisted by Cody Eakin and Ray Whitney. And then Cody Eakin would score the game-tying goal, assisted by Alex Chiasson and Ray Whitney. For the San Jose Sharks, they scored just 9 seconds into the game. Tyler Kennedy getting his first goal in a San Jose Sharks uniform, unassisted, the former Pittsburgh Penguin. Then Matthew Nieto would get his second of the year, assisted by Joe Pavelski and Tommy Wingels. Then Patrick Marleau would get his 6th of the year, assisted by Mark-Edward Vlasic and Antti Niemi, his 2nd assist of the year. However, in the shootout, Alex Chiasson would be the only converter in the shootout. Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn would also go for the Stars. For the Sharks, Joe Pavelski, Logan Couture, and Brent Burns all failed to score in the shootout. So congrats to the Dallas Stars in that regard. For Dan Ellis would get the starting goal for the Stars, and he was good. 32 saves and 35 shots, a .914 save percentage. As was Antti Niemi. He was solid too. 28 saves and 31 shots, a .903 save percentage. But Ellis was just a little bit better. Congratulations to the Dallas Stars. The Sharks keep their point streak alive, but their win streak is over. As is the case for another team that went 6-0-0 in our final game of Thursday night's action, a former rivalry matchup, the Detroit Red Wings and the Colorado Avalanche in Colorado. The Avs finally being handed their first loss of the year. Patrick Roy could not break Mario Tremblay's record for longest win streak for rookie head coach. This loss was in regulation, unlike the Sharks' 4-2 the final in favor of the Wings. Detroit goals being scored by Johan Franzen and Pavel Datsyuk. For the two of them, they both had 2-goal nights. Johan Franzen, his 2 goals came on the power play, and for Pavel Datsyuk, both of his came at even strength. For Franzen, his first of the year came assisted by Henrik Zetterberg and Jakob Kindl. Then Pavel Datsyuk's first of the game would come from Danny DeKeyser and Daniel Alfredsson. And for Danny DeKeyser, that's his first point of the season. Then Johan Franzen's second of the game was assisted by Justin Abdelkader and Daniel Alfredsson. And then Pavel Datsyuk's second of the game was assisted by Daniel Alfredsson. A 3-assist performance for Daniel Alfredsson, and yet he was not one of the stars of the game. Pavel Datsyuk was, though, and he had 8 shots on goal. He was brilliant. He truly was brilliant. As was the goaltender who started in that game, Jonas Gustafsson, who is now undefeated at 3-0-0. 38 saves on 40 shots, a .950 save percentage. He was very, very good. For the Colorado Avalanche, they tied up the game at 2 in the second period. Both of their goals coming on the power play. The first one being scored by Erik Johnson, his first of the year, assisted by the goaltender Semyon Varlamov. And then Gabriel Landeskog, the captain, finally getting his first of the year, assisted by Paul Stastny. Semyon Varlamov made 24 saves on 28 shots, a .957 save percentage. Not, again, so far his worst game of the season. So the Avs win streak is over, though they still are considerably a hot team as of right now. Congratulations to the Detroit Red Wings. That is it for all the games from Thursday, October 17th. And now we have for you this day in hockey history from October 18th, featuring 4 former NHL players. Kjell Samuelsson, Phil Esposito, Yari Curry, and Wayne Gretzky. In 1958, Kjell Samuelsson of Sweden was born. October 18, 1958, he won the Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 1992. In 1979 of October 18th, Phil Esposito, who played for the New York Rangers at the time, scored his final and aka 32nd career hat trick. Back in 1979, this was the all-time record until Wayne Gretzky, the great one, broke it. He had 50 hat tricks in his career. And we'll get to more about Wayne Gretzky in a second. In 1980, Yari Curry of the Edmonton Oilers scored his first career NHL goal in what was a 5-5 tie between the Edmonton Oilers and the New York Islanders. And last but not least, Wayne Gretzky of the Edmonton Oilers scored his 29th career hat trick in 1984 and led the Oilers to a 7-5 win over the Minnesota North Stars. In his whole career, he scored 50 hat tricks, which again is at the NHL record. One of the many records held by the Great One that will never be broken. That may never be broken. Okay, folks, that'll do it for episode 77 of Hockey on the Spot. This has been Hockey on the Spot with Brandon Barenfeld. I'm Brandon Barenfeld. I'll see you guys in a few minutes with episode 78. Thank you and have a great day. See you in a few.